Is Sony Band already working on the next Days Gone? They are namely already looking for people for their next AAA game according to a new job listing, so let's dive into it. I will share why I think it's a Days Gone sequel, and there's more to discuss. So would be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support, and let's go. Over on LinkedIn, Band Studio is looking for some new people. 2 job listings are posted very recently, and one has been highlighted by PlayStation Lifestyle. That's where I got it from. But I would argue that the other very recent job listing is very interesting as well. So the first job listing is for a producer. So someone who can steer the project, make sure that everything happens on schedule, and collaborates between all the different disciplines. Well, Sony Band is looking for a producer to help them create their next AAA title that will set the PlayStation 4 apart from the rest. Wait a moment, PlayStation 4 is their next AAA game coming to the PS4 as well. In the job listing, they mentioned that this person has to participate in the yearly performance review process, implying obviously that this is for a product that will take some years to develop. So let's say that they release this PlayStation 4 game in 3 years. I mean, that is likely the time that it will take for the relatively small team at Sony Band to make the next Days Gone. And I will share why I think that it will be Days Gone 2 in a second. PlayStation Lifestyle speculates that it might be an honest mistake, or that they mentioned PS4 because they can't say the PlayStation 5 yet. I mean, it's possible, I guess, but you could argue, why would they mention it at all then? They could have just said, help us create our next AAA title that will set the PlayStation ecosystem apart, or simply help us create our next AAA title without any mention of the platform, yet they chose to mention the PS4. The PlayStation 5, or the next-gen console as Sony now calls it, will be a niche product for hardcore players. At least that seems to be the approach when it launches in the fall of 2020, according to sources of the Wall Street Journal. So with that in mind, I totally think that Sony expects that not everyone or a big group of people will jump to the PlayStation 5 for at least a year or 2 years after launch. So that an enormous group of players will play on the PlayStation 4 for a really long time after the PS5 is out. So it makes perfect sense that Sony then still wants to support that platform. We saw the mention of the PS4 recently as well in a Guerrilla Games listing for a potential upcoming multiplayer game that they seem to be developing alongside the inevitable next horizon. We saw this line in a job listing on their Guerrilla Games website. Sony also mentioned that they see the PlayStation 4 as the main engine of engagement and profitability for the next 3 years. So does that mean that we can expect PS4 games for at least 3 more years? I think so, and that could be enough time to develop the next Days Gone. And why I think that Sony Band is looking for people to work on Days Gone 2 is because of the other listing that they put up recently. This one is for a senior build and tools engineer who will upgrade, evolve and maintain existing infrastructure, including Bamboo server and configurations, build script, and Unreal Engine 4 code and data pipelines. That is one of the responsibilities, but the key thing to take away here is of course the Unreal Engine 4 part. That is the engine on which Days Gone is built. So it seems like their next game will be built on this engine as well. I mean, why otherwise hire someone to work on this engine? So yes, it's a high chance that this is regarding a Days Gone sequel. Sony Band spent 6 years or so working on this game, building this world, these characters, the horde mechanic. I find it very hard to believe that they are going to throw that all away and start from scratch for a game that looks to be coming to the PlayStation 4 as well. I just find it very hard to believe. And Days Gone sold and is selling still pretty well, so I totally believe that Sony already made a lot of money on this game. But yeah, the PS4 part is still very interesting. I, by the way, also think that this means that we will also get it on the PlayStation 5 and just have a better version on that new console. Where the PS3 and the PlayStation 4 were completely different in terms of architecture, the PS4 and the PlayStation 5 will be way more similar. And they are both really close to PCs, so it could be that it will work like a PC. So that the standard PlayStation 4 will run these new games on the potential low settings, then the PS4 Pro will be in between that, and then the PlayStation 5 will provide the no load times and the better graphics graphics and the higher frame rate. That way they can still support the 100 million PS4 users and make the PlayStation 5 very expensive, so a huge step up and only for the people that want the best experience. I really think that will be a win for everyone, with PlayStation 5 exclusives coming when way more people bought the system and when it's likely way cheaper, so accessible to more people. That's really what I make out of all the recent rumors and news, including this interesting potential Days Gone 2 job listing for a PS4 version. A game that will set the PS4 apart from the rest. That could really be said for every exclusive, of course. No, but I totally think that we will see more Days Gone. We of course also had that secret ending that I won't spoil, that does tease that there is more to come. It would just be weird if they made that secret ending and they like teased a ton of stuff in the game about the potential sequel, and then a month later they are working on a new game already. I just don't believe that. When we know more about the future of Days Gone, I will of course let you know here on the channel. I'm really excited to see where this series goes next, so totally subscribe for everything Days Gone if you haven't already. I'm also covering the new updates, the new challenges that are coming to the game. I did not make a video on the latest challenge because I'm actually on a holiday right now, so that means that I will talk about that recent challenge in a new video that will go live a little later than normal, but stay tuned for that. Like this video to support the channel, check out my video on a potential new region that could be coming to Days Gone, and I will speak to you next time. Goodbye!